Hello, this is Charlene Lee, and welcome to another episode of Socialize This. Today I have Ed Turpinning, the VP of Social Media at Wells Fargo, here in the studio. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, Charlene.
Great. Good to see you, too. So it was very interesting at the beginning of the year, Wells Fargo announced a new blog. And to discuss the upcoming merger between Wells Fargo and Wachovia. Can you tell us a little bit about why you used a blog to talk about the merger?
Well, you know, it's such a big event, especially for the Wachovia customer. I mean, they don't know what Wells Fargo is about. And we're using every channel, communications channel, television, radio, print, you know, everything to communicate what's coming, what to expect. And it just seemed natural that, well, this is about humanizing us, having a dialogue with our customers about what's coming. So a blog just seemed to be the right thing to do. And
you allow comments, too, on the blog.
Yeah, we want to hear from customers. We want to know how their experience is. We want to know what their concerns are. And, you know, that's all. And we have lots of channels for getting that information, you know, whether it's Gallup polls or surveys online. And, you know, we have a phone bank with thousands of calls a day. So we hear from customers a lot every day, but this is yet another way for us to get that.
Yeah, it's very public, too.
Yes.
And so were your executives nervous about this? Were they pushing for this? Where did the idea come from?
Well, luckily they had some experience. I mean, we've been doing this for 3 years. We started blogging actually March. It's our 3-year anniversary for Guided by History. So I think luckily we had that experience. You know, we knew what kind of, well, we had an idea at least of what kind of interaction and dialogue we would have in a public space. We talked about products. We have B2B. We have history. You know, there are lots of different topics we talk about. Now, we knew that this would probably be among the most emotional because Wachovia customers love their bank, and this is a change for them. So we were a little frightened by it, a little bit. You know, it's like this is important to a lot of people. So all that came into play, but we knew that we wanted to at least bring it up, talk to executives about it, and I think our experience led them to have some trust that this is the right thing.
But they were very nervous about it too, it seemed. Or were they?
No, you know, I think you know, and my exposure to the top of the house is limited, but I think in terms of the communicators, the leadership in terms of marketing and communications and CorpCom and all that. They come to us all the time. During the financial crisis, at the height of the financial crisis, actually, John Stump wanted to get some videos out there about our history, our culture, what our company's about. And the blog was actually the first place to post those because we could do it quickly, we could respond, we could hear from customers. So we've had those kind of dialogues with executives before, and you know, they've seen that it can work.
Yeah, well, here's a picture of the blog itself, and you have employees on it who are blogging. Now, in a merger, there are rules and regulations about things you can and cannot talk about.
Sure.
So are they under any restrictions? Do they have to be careful about what they say?
Oh, yeah. So first, we didn't launch the blog until January 2nd when the holding companies were together. So that was out of the way. But yes, obviously we have to be very careful, especially when we talk about products. When products are going to convert, when stores in various states are going to convert. So really, we're at the tail end of that process. There's lots of legal regulation discussions far in advance of before those messages get to us and we start talking about them. But yes, certainly regulations are a very important part of this, and you know, like all of our other blogs, they're reviewed, and we just make sure that we're right in there in terms of what we can say.
And what's been the impact? What's the impact on other employees, internal processes of this particular blog?
Well, I think not a big impact in terms of processes. I think they see that if they want to get something out quickly, they can leverage the blog. And in fact, you know, we had a crisis yesterday, as you know, and we were actually able to get that posted on the blog faster than any other place. So it was a way to get our message out there really quickly. So to that extent, I think our communicators are realizing that this, you know, they're coming to us more often and they're seeing us as a solution.
Great.
Yeah.
Just one last question for you. You see a lot of new technologies in your role as VP of Social Media. What are some interesting technologies that you see coming down the pipe, and how do you see them being used by the company?
Well, I think the iPhone has just ignited this whole revolution in mobile now, and it's just so exciting to see all the applications, and we have an application and actually a B2B application and a consumer application, things like that. I just think that that is igniting this whole new thinking about what you can do with a phone. And combining that with social, and I think there's a long way to go there. I think there's some companies that kind of show you, well, where are you on the, in this global space, and who can you connect with, and that sort of thing. But it's just really early. So I think that's actually a really exciting development. Is how does social come to mobile, and how can we use voice and text and all of that combined, and how that applies to Wells Fargo. With this merger, we now have, 250,000 employees, something like that, 250,000. So that, even before we merged, there's a challenge of, I need to find out this. Who do I talk to? Who has this expertise in the company? Who can I go to? So I think the idea of internal social networking is very interesting as well. And I think mobile and the iPhone, the kind of things that we can do with that, maybe someday will be applied.
Yeah, being able to reach out to your vast employees.
Yeah, and ask a question or get feedback or find the right person.
Great. Good. Well, thanks again, Ed.
Sure. Happy to.
Thanks for joining us today.